Hi everyone, this is Blue Moonshine, and today I'm going to show you how I made this piece of art. So as you can see, it's a quarter, but it doesn't have the original color. It is actually brass plated and copper plated, and I'm going to show you the process, how I did it. To be honest, things didn't go exactly as planned, but the result is not bad. I mean, it's pretty, isn't it? For this project, you will need, of course, the metal piece that you want to copper plate and optionally brass plate. 2 copper electrodes. Mine come from plumbing scraps, so they were virtually free. And you can see how shiny they are. I scrubbed them with some steel wool. Now make sure not to touch the part that will go into the electrolyte, because we don't want to put some impurities. You will need a scale, a jar, some distilled water, some baking soda, acetone, a Sharpie, and a power supply. It's better if you can use an adjustable voltage supply, but you can still do it if you simply use batteries, but this is more convenient. Okay. Now if you want to brass plate, you will also need a Dremel with a brass brush and a torch. First we need to prepare the electrolyte. So here I'm gonna make 600 milliliters of electrolyte, and for this let us pour 600 milliliters of distilled water. Doesn't have to be very precise. Let me put it in the jar. And I'm going to measure 24 grams of baking soda. Oops. Okay, well, 26.52, that's good enough. So we have to dissolve it in the water, and for this you can use your copper electrode to stir. Make sure that it's well dissolved. Good. All right. Now you can put the second electrode in the jar and connect one to the negative and you can easily guess that the other one will be connected to the positive. Okay. All right. Now make sure also that the alligator clips don't go into the solution. So in my case there's no danger for that to happen, because they will be corroded, especially the positive electrode. It will the positive electrode will dissolve into the solution. And now I'm going to apply a DC current. I mean a DC voltage which will generate a current. And you don't want this current to be too large, otherwise this will generate some undesired reactions that will produce some impurities that we don't want. So here I'm going to use maybe 30 milliamps. So simply increase the voltage until you observe the desired current. Okay. Now what is going to happen is that the current will change as time goes on, because the conductivity of the solution is going to change. So you have to take a look on a regular basis and adjust the voltage if you can. Now if you have batteries, you can't adjust the voltage, so it's okay too. One way to adjust the current that goes through the solution, if you don't have an adjustable voltage, is if you can move the distance between the electrodes. So in that case, instead of using a jar, you may want to use a larger container that allows you to play with the distance between the electrodes. Okay. So, well, let's wait a few hours and we'll see what we get. So it has been 3 hours, and in order to maintain a current of 0.03, I mean 30 milliamps, I had to increase the voltage to 4.7 volts. Okay, which means that the electrolysis is becoming harder, and you can see that the solution turned a little bit green. So I'm going to stop the electrolysis here and say that our electrolyte is ready. So yeah, let us stop it here. So let me turn this off and unplug everything. This is the anode. You can see that it has been corroded and it will have to be cleaned because we're going to use it again. So I will scrub it with some steel wool. And here the cathode. The cathode has been, well, I don't know if it's been corroded. In principle, it has been coated with something. So, well, anyway, it has to be cleaned too, because we don't want any impurities in the solution. The solution is pretty clear, so I believe that there are not too many impurities in there. So here I'm going to start by doing some brass plating. So ultimately I would like the character on this coin to be made out of brass, but it's a little bit hard to do only the character, so I'm gonna do a bigger area, and then I will remove the excess of brass. Well, not remove it, but it will be plated the excess of brass will be plated with copper. I will show you how. So in order to do brass plating, that's actually very easy. All you have to do is to heat the coin and then brush the area that you want to be plated, and the brass will stick to it. So let me do it. So that may seem like a mess right now, but it's good. So you see that now it's changed color, it's yellowish, so that's the color of brass. And now let us turn to the part that consists of adding some copper by using our electrolyte. So first let me wait for the coin to cool down. So now in order to do the copper plating, what we need to do is to put a mask on the part that we don't want the copper to stick on. And for this I'm going to use this Sharpie. So I just brass plated the character, and of course I don't want the copper to go on the character, so I'm going to put some Sharpie on it. Alright, now that's not easy to do on the camera, and that's not a very fine Sharpie, so it will be hard to do a good job, but I'm just showing you the principle, how to do it. Okay, so I'm trying to do my best given the situation, and it's actually not easy because I have the camera in my way. It's very hard to see actually the shape, the exact shape of the character. I'm not wearing my glasses. Okay, well, I guess that's good enough. It's just, I just want to show a proof of concept. Okay, now on the other side, I would like the head to be copper plated. So I'm gonna put the mask on the outside. And I'm going to do this off camera because I can't see anything. So, alright, so here is the result. I'll try to do my best. So, now let's connect it to the cathode and we can start the electrolysis. Alright, so here is one of the electrodes that I just cleaned. So I scrubbed it with steel wool and it will constitute the anode. And well, the reason that it has to be very clean is that it will be oxidized, so the copper will go into the solution. So let me connect it to the positive. Right. Maybe I should attach this so that it stays in place. And now all we have to do is to connect the piece to the negative, and of course we have to be careful. It needs to be in contact, so I cannot put it in contact with the mask, of course, but on the other side it's okay. If I attach it here, there will be a contact. Okay, I don't want to, yeah, maybe here, so that, and there will be a little bit of piece that won't be copper plated, but we can do it later. We can move the point where we clip this. So let me turn this on and select DC current. And here well, that should do it. And I'm going to adjust for about 10 milliamps. Oops. We don't want the process to be too fast, because otherwise the copper won't stick to the coin. The reason is that when the current is too large, the copper doesn't have time to spread all over the piece, and the plating gets spongy and very fragile. So now for the time, it depends on, of course, on how much copper you want on it. So let's wait a few seconds and maybe we can already see the result if I take it out. I don't know if we can see on the camera. No, it's very mild. So yeah, let's wait a few minutes. Alright, so it has been about 15 minutes and I increased the current to 40 milliamps because the plating is actually pretty slow, much slower than usual. So maybe my electrolyte wasn't concentrated enough. But well, let's see the result. So it's the copper has been deposited on the outside, but not on the area that was actually brushed with the brass. So I don't know why the copper doesn't stick to the brass actually. And unexpectedly, all the mask that I had on the back side of the coin went away. All right. So it's time to remove the mask and see the result. For this, I'm going to use the acetone. And well, it didn't work as expected, but the proof of concept is there. The character is made out of brass, and there's a halo of copper. So basically it works. I believe that my electrolyte wasn't strong enough. Okay, but you get the idea, and it really stick. Okay, so that's also an important point. Well, it never worked as expected as soon as I turn on the camera, but believe me, if you turn the camera off, it will work. Although it didn't go exactly as planned, the result is not bad. I mean, it's kind of pretty. So we have this mix of brass, copper, and the original metal of the quarter, which I think is nickel. So, well, that gives you an idea of the process of copper plating and brass plating, and well, yeah, I think it's not bad actually. It's pretty. And the other side, the layer is very thin, so there's almost nothing. I guess I'm going to post another video with a more successful plating, but I will just show the result. The method is the same. My electrolyte wasn't concentrated enough. Another possibility is simply to use copper sulfate as the electrolyte. I just wanted to use baking soda because it's so cheap, and when it's well done it works almost as good as copper sulfate. But copper sulfate is not very expensive. You can get 2 pounds for $15 at Lowe's, and maybe you can even find it cheaper online. Okay, but I mean the result is still I'm repeating myself. The result is not bad. I mean it's pretty actually. So thanks for watching. Please register to my channel, and don't hesitate to leave some comment.